Go live. All right. Hey, we're live. We are live, and we've got, I don't know, a couple of people in in the chat. What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Friday the 13th. And a happy birthday to someone I know. Happy birthday. It is going to be a lucky day today on this Friday the 13th. I just feel it. I just feel it. All right. Martin, hey, what's up, Tardvark? So glad to see you. First, flame on. Let's get this started. Get our big torches going. And welcome. It is Friday, Fact Check Friday. And I've got a very interesting, I think one of the most interesting fact checks today that is really going to blow your mind. But let's talk about the other stories that I have. We'll be doing a fact check with AI. Gwen Stefani made the claim that she's Japanese. Or is that just clickbait? We'll get to that. China has made a deal with Argentina about building a naval base. Oops. Can't see anything negative happening from that, right? And Julia Roberts, turns out that's not really her name. She just found out she's not a Roberts. We'll get to that and all of that. But first, it is Fact Check Friday. And I gotta first apologize. I know you're not supposed to apologize. Oh, I didn't put my ring on or my watch. Usually I have all my stuff on. What am I doing? Let's get this going. All right. Last week, my fact check kind of sucked. I apologize. I was out of practice for over a year. I tried to wing it, and I was not real happy with the final result of the fact check last week. A lot of people saw it, and I don't know if I really made my points clear. So all we can do is go forward and get better. I just wanted to acknowledge that the world's greatest fact checker, not the world's greatest on that day. But we're going to turn things around. And today we're going to talk about an article from CNN. Yeah, C and N. No, that's C. I'm C and N. They're CNN, yes. But I'm not going to fact check it. I'm going to have AI fact check this story and see if they're good or if they're not good at fact checking. And I'm referring to the AI as a they, because apparently, I don't know why. She. I don't know the pronouns of the AI. I really don't care either. But the fact check, the AI is going to do the fact checking. I used, here we go, OpenAI's Chat GPT. And if you haven't used this yet, this is a game changer. This is going to blow your mind. No matter how much I emphasize how big AI is going to be, you're not going to believe it until you actually try it for yourself. So that's what I encourage you to do after this video. If you've never tried Chat GPT, just look it up, give it a try. You can put in anything. It does all kinds of incredible things. And then you'll say, oh, Tom was right. Tom was right. Hey, what's up, Doug? Good to see you again. Martin, good to see you. Rev68. Thank you. I appreciate that. This AI, I think, is such a much bigger deal than anyone realizes. It's going to put so many people out of work. It's going to give tools to so many people. I don't think we realize the extent of it yet, and it's brand new, right? We don't even know what it's going to be a year from now, okay? So the article, though, that we're going to have the AI fact check, here's just a summary of the article from CNN. It's about everyone's favorite president, Joe Biden. It says, Joe Biden, and here's a summary of the article. I'll leave a link to all the stories that I do in the description afterwards. Oh, and as a bonus, if you're not watching this live, okay, if you're watching the replay of this, I still read the comments, so please leave a comment. It means a lot to the algorithm. Hit that like button, because that lets the algorithm knows that this is a good video, because apparently YouTube hasn't figured out how fantastic my videos are. So you need to let the algorithm know. But yes, if you're watching it on a replay, I will have each of the stories marked, time-stamped in the description. So if I'm doing a story and you're just like, I don't care about this story, you can just click and go to the next story. Very easy. And I'm doing that with all of the videos in the replays, so you can check that out. And if you're live, thanks for being here live. It means a lot to me that you've joined me here today. So the story from CNN. President Joe Biden's legal team has found another batch of classified government documents. Following the initial discovery of classified documents at the former think tank office in Washington this past fall, according to CNN. The discovery of these documents in his former office in November set off alarm bells inside the White House, is what they're telling you, where only a small circle of advisors and lawyers were aware of the matter. An effort was launched to search other locations where documents from Biden's time as vice president may have been stored. Now, it's unclear at this time how many documents were in the second batch of documents or what the documents were about. It's also unclear exactly where the new batch of materials were located. So that's the gist of this story from CNN, that I'm going to have the AI, the artificial intelligence, this chat GPT, I'm going to have it fact check. And all I did with this was I copied the text from the CNN article, and in ChatGPT, I said summarize, spelled with an A, colon, and then I pasted the article in, and I hit return. That was all I did. Fact check, boom. And here's what we learned. What am I doing? I don't even have my Chiron up yet. ChatGPT fact check. There we go. Do you like the Chirons? Are they fun? I think a lot of the graphics and stuff nobody cares about, but I find it amusing that a guy in Portland with torches behind him does all this silly graphics just to talk about nonsense. If you like it, let me know. Hit the thumbs up if you like it. But here is what ChatGPT told me in literally seconds when I just asked it to fact check this article. It says, this article is reporting on claims made by CNN and NBC News that President Joe Biden's legal team found another batch of classified government records following the initial discovery of classified documents at his former think tank office in Washington in November 2020. The White House has declined to comment on the matter. However, it is important to note that this article is based on anonymous sources and has not been independently verified. It is also unclear at this time how many documents were in the second batch of documents or what the documents were about, and key questions about the situation remain unanswered. This AI, I think, did a more succinct job of fact-checking than I do, or that I've seen anyone else do. I'm blown away by how good this was. Essentially what they're saying is this is, we don't have any evidence of this, and we got to take their word for it, and we don't even have people on the record. So it's a bunch of nonsense, really. And I would agree with that assessment. We don't know much of the what was going on. Joe Biden talked about how it was secure. It was in boxes next to his Corvette in the garage. And I'm sure we'll learn more going forward. Little side note, guess who happened to be using that house as a residence while those documents were there? Can anyone take a guess? I'll give you a hint. His name rhymes with punter. Yeah. Was living in that house while the documents were stored in the garage. Nothing to worry about there. But that is, that is the fact check from the Chat GPT. Amazing. I think it did a pretty good job. The one problem, though, that we have with AI is AI can be programmed. I've seen lots of examples where you can ask it to write an article about, I'm going to exaggerate this now, but the AI will write negative articles about certain people, and it will not write negative articles about other people. Now, why would it do that? It's been programmed that way. So this AI is much like Google. If Google were honest and we could get good results, it would be fantastic. The problem is some people working for certain 3-letter agencies have their hand in Google and they're changing results. So you're not getting the search result that you want because it's being affected by these agencies that are working at these companies. And I think the same thing can happen also with the AI. Once the 3-letter agencies infect this AI project, because I'm sure they will have to do that, they're going to be changing the results. And I don't think we can necessarily count on it as being totally unbiased. But I was impressed by what we found out today. Yes, all right. Let's go to the next fun article, and this is about Gwen Stefani. Now, sticking with the AI theme, this art here, I just had the AI make some different art of Gwen Stefani being Japanese. And these are some of the examples that they came up with. Pretty incredible. But the title of the article, I think this is from Allure magazine, I said, my God, I'm Japanese. Okay. Gwen Stefani has had several distinct personas over the last 2 decades, including pop punk, ska, and Harajuku. Recently, she launched a vegan beauty line called GXVE Beauty, which features her signature red lip color and other beauty staples such as shadow palettes and gel eyeliners. Maybe I need to get that, right? Before doing this, she launched Harajuku Lovers, a fragrance line, in 2008, inspired by Japan's Harajuku subculture and the visuals and marketing of her album Love, Angel, Music, Baby. Harajuku Lovers was widely recognized and received an award in 2009. However, in recent years, the Harajuku era has been the subject of cultural appropriation. Stefani explains that her dad's job at Yamaha had him traveling between Japan and California for 18 years, and that her fascination with Japanese culture comes from her dad's stories and her own travels as an adult. She sees herself as a super fan of Japanese culture and feels that if people criticize her for sharing that, it doesn't feel right to her. So why this is a big story, why this hopped out, was the quote in it where she talked about traveling to Japan to see for herself. She says, "Oh my God, I'm Japanese. I didn't even know it." And the writer of the article said that these words hung in the air between them, and she continued, "I am, you know." And Gwen Stefani did a good job of drumming up something interesting to get people talking. And she did that by saying she's Japanese. And I think deep down she knows she's not Japanese. I'm not a mind reader, but I assume that. But I do like her response to this. She says, if people are going to criticize me for being a fan of something beautiful and sharing that, then I just think that doesn't feel right. I think it was a beautiful time of creativity, a time of the ping pong match between Harajuku culture and American culture. She elaborated further, it should be okay to be inspired by other cultures, because if we're not allowed, then that's dividing people, right? And I agree. This whole cultural appropriation thing, I think, is silly. Like I talked about yesterday with Western fashion. If you're doing it to pay homage, that's cool. If you're doing it to clown it, yeah, don't be a jerk, right? And that should probably be what we go by. Just don't be a jerk. I'm wearing an Aloha shirt. I'm not Hawaii. I'm not in Hawaii. I wear an Aloha shirt every day. I have a closet full. One of the reasons that I do is I want every day to be a holiday. That's how I want my life to be. And that's a reminder to me that every day is like a holiday for me. And that's why I wear these shirts. I don't think I'm appropriating anything by wearing them. And if you feel that way, pound sand, I guess. Now, on to something a little bit scarier. And that is a Chinese base in Argentina. China looks to build a naval base in Argentina, a gateway to Antarctica. China. I can't do the Trump. China. China's reportedly putting pressure on Argentina to build a naval base in Ushuaia, Tierra del Fuego province, according to French news site Intelligence Online. The base would bring Beijing closer to Antarctica and allows it to control the passage between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Argentina's southern tip is only 680 miles from the Antarctic coast. Experts say a base in the region would help China intercept regional communications with a clear economic and strategic impact, leading to a clear and massive interference from the country in international affairs. So this is the, China's Belt and Roadway. They're expanding out all over the entire world. They've really moved into Africa quite a bit. And to set up a naval base in Argentina, down at the tip of South America, who do they think they are? Americans? Don't they know that we're the only ones that are supposed to have naval bases all over the world, military bases all over the world? They're not supposed to be doing that. I think someone needs to put China in their place, let them know that Their military is not welcome in this hemisphere. Uh, yeah, why would we have a problem with, with China setting up a naval base closer to us with their huge navy and nuclear weapons, right? Can't see anything wrong there. But that is something to look at in the future, is how are other countries going to be able to stop China from expanding all over the world with their military? I don't think that when a country expands their military all over the world, that necessarily good things come from it. So, I don't know, maybe we can learn something from the past, but probably not. Probably not. All right. Lastly, this is about Julia Roberts. And again, for fun, this isn't even a picture of her. I put Julia Roberts into the AI, and this is what it came up with. So, crazy. But the story is Julia Roberts found out through Ancestry DNA she's not actually a Roberts. Her mind is blown. Julia Roberts appeared on Ancestry's Finding Your Roots with Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr., where she found out her great-great-grandfather was not actually a Roberts. Through DNA samples and research, they found out her biological great-great-grandfather was Henry McDonald Mitchell Jr., and her family name should have been Mitchell instead of Roberts. Julia expressed being surprised, but also that her family is her family regardless of her name. And I agree. I agree with that. It's interesting with all of this Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, and all this. My father did DNA projects prior to years ago, but before all this 23andMe stuff. And what he told me at the time when he was doing all this research, it turned out, he said about 5% of people did not have the father that they thought that they had. Yeah, 5%. They thought their dad was one person. Turns out their dad is not genetically their dad. They were lied to, or, they just didn't know. That's a lot. And so the fact that this is with Julia Roberts, that doesn't surprise me either. And I do like her sentiment that her family's her family, regardless of a name. I've seen this myself, and perhaps there's someone who's adopted that is watching this, and a lot of adopted people feel this way, that their family's their family. Who raised them, that's who their family is. I had a girlfriend who didn't even want to meet her biological parents. She didn't care. She did do a DNA test to find out what she was. She was hoping, as she was raised Jewish, she was hoping that she would have some Ashkenazi in her. Turns out that wasn't the case. She was pretty much German. German and Swedish or something. But had apparently no Jewish in her DNA. But she did feel that was her family, as it were. And I think that's true for everyone. But the fact that, like I said, about 5% of people, their dad's not who they think it is. And that can be a shock for a lot of people. And lastly, I just wanted to give you some updates on what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to go live. I'm trying to do a better job of this. Until I figure out exactly what I'm doing, I will be streaming live every day at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. That's Monday to Friday. And right now, I am on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and Twitch. just to see if I can take off there. But you can really help me grow. Hit that like button, share this video with someone, leave a comment. Even if you're not watching it live, leaving a comment and hitting the like button really helps. I do appreciate that. I will be back on Monday with the show, and hopefully I'm getting better. I feel that today's episode was much better than a week ago, and so next week I hope to improve even more. I hope you all are having an awesome day and have a lucky, lucky January 13th. I'll see you on Monday. Peace.